Hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Today's video is my trying out the new Mini Xenon palette from Natasha Denona. I did not break my no-buy. Mike got it for me, so still on the no-buy. If you want to see what I think and how I got this look, let's get into it. My face is mostly done up because I thought we would just play with the eyeshadow today. So let me just take a second to say, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, you should do that now. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and then choose all, and YouTube will notify you when I upload a new video, which I'm doing 3 days a week consistently. Things are working out so far. So, all right, let's get into this. Okay, we are all zoomed in, ready to go. Today's video is the try on, play with of the new Natasha Denona Mini Xenon palette. When I saw this was being released, I definitely had a sad because, as you know, August is a no-buy for me, and this palette was made specifically for me. If you didn't know that, yeah, it definitely was. These are absolutely my favorite shades, mostly black. I love black with my whole heart. And if it happens to sparkle like that gorgeous silver shade, I'm not mad at that either. Okay, I'm going to play with probably all of these shades. I did dip into it yesterday just to check it out and see what it was like. Spoiler alert, it's amazing. Typically when I do a black bold eye look, I usually build up my crease with browns, but I want to stick with just this palette for today. So I'm gonna go in with the lightest gray shade in my crease area with my Wayne Goss number 4. I use this for pink eyeshadow and it stained my brush. So that's kind of a bummer, but it is clean, just stained. So let's pop that on in the crease. It's very nice, blends beautifully. This tiny palette is $25, which, you know, could be expensive for only 5 shades. And the pans are pretty tiny, but the quality is amazing. And so I feel like $25 is an absolutely fair price point for Natasha Denona's mini palettes. Okay, and on a Rephr 16, which is a slightly smaller but fluffy brush, I'm gonna go in with the dark gray shade right here. These do have names. Light shade is called Mist. The dark gray is called Gloom. So on my Rephr number 16, I'm gonna start putting that in the crease a little lower than the first gray shade. I was toying with the idea of doing like a halo, or you know, just the standard brighter inner eye, darker outer. And I think I'm gonna do the standard for today. Maybe I'll do a second or third eye look using this palette. I really, really want to, as I think an all matte would be amazing. I think a halo eye would be amazing. That's really nice. They're layering perfectly over each other. Not all eyeshadow formulas do that well, but this is. I'm gonna leave that gray like that for now. I can always go back and add more and blend and whatever, but I wanna jump into the black shade called Blackest Black, and on my Rephr 14, which is still a fluffy brush, but it's a lot smaller. We're gonna start putting that on the outer, probably third of my eye, and see where we go. I really like using tiny brushes especially for darker colors. I think it makes it easier to control where the product goes. It gives you a lot of control. That just blends out beautifully. And there's no fallout. That, to me, is the most exciting part. Black eyeshadow doesn't usually have a lack of fallout. Man, that's so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna grab my Refer 13 and just, with nothing on it, and really just blend the inner corner. I want it to look as smooth and blended as possible. When you're working with dark colors, every little thing can show up, so blend, blend, blend. That's really, really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a flat brush. This is the Refer number 2. And I'm gonna use the dark gray shade. What did we say that was called? Gloom. And just add this right next to the black on my lid. I want a really smooth gradient from light to dark. They're almost the same color. Perhaps I'll flip it around and build up the black a little. Yeah, that was a good idea. I probably could have just buffed out the black on my lid and called it good. Now on my Refer 21, which is just this flat shadow brush, I'm gonna dip into the silver shade called Chromatic. Yep, Chromatic. And we're gonna start with it dry. I do think I'll end up dampening my brush. But I wanted to show you what it's like dry before we do that. And because it's dry, there is a little bit of fallout. So better to just dampen it. All right, it's nice and wet. And I'm just gonna put that on the inner half of my lid. I'm gonna blend over it with some of that dark gray to meld the shades together, but that is gorgeous. Cannot complain about that at all. And so using the gray side of the flat brush we used, I'm just gonna tap over the edge of that chromatic shade. Maybe I'll get just a little bit of the gray on my brush. And some more smooth transition. That's beautiful. I love this. And so on my number 3 Refer, I'm gonna dip into the bone shade called Puff and just use that right up here for a brow highlight. I don't normally go quite so nuts with it, but I really wanted to use all the shades. And then I'm gonna buff over everything with that first brush I used with that light gray shade. There we go. I really like that. I'm gonna use another tiny brush. This is the Refer 23. I'm gonna dip into the black and run this along my lower lashes. And with the brush I used with the gray and the black, I'm gonna use that just to buff out the black on my lower lashes. And then on my damp shadow brush, I'm just going to bring that down around my inner corner to my lower lash line and blend the two together. I do have a little bit of fallout from the chromatic shades. I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to do my other eye, put on some black liner, mascara, and probably a false lash, and come back and we will finish this up. Okay, I'm back. Some black liner, some mascara, lashes. I really, really like this palette. I think it's super easy to use, and black can be incredibly intimidating. So that's pretty cool. I have nothing bad to say about this little palette. I think for $25, she's so worth it. I love all the colors. I really do want to try an all matte look. So if I have a chance between when I'm done recording this and when I upload it, I may try to pop in a couple of more looks with it. So we'll see, maybe I can add that to this video. I think that would be fun. I do want to mention, I do already own the ColourPop Smoke Show palette. It's not called Smoke Show anymore. I think there was an issue with trademark names or something. So it's called Blowin Smoke now. But this is what that looks like. If you have this palette, you don't need the Natasha Denona palette. They are so incredibly similar. I may even do one eye with the Natasha Denona and the other eye with the ColourPop, just to see how similar they really are. But they're definitely very similar. Yeah, so that might be fun. I may do that. If I do, I'll include it in this video as well. I do want to mention, because I have a couple other Natasha Denona products, I did use them on my face today. So I went in with my Natasha Denona Bronze and Glow for my bronzer today. And I used my Natasha Denona All Over Glow Powder. I don't think this has a specific name. Light, maybe? And that's my highlight today. I really like this as well. And my blush is the cream shade right there from the Natasha Denona Love Glow Cheek Palette. I don't have a lot of Natasha Denona products aside from eyeshadow palettes, so I thought it'd be fun to use all of them in one video. So that's what I did. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you to determine whether or not you need this in your life. Okay, so I wanted to do another couple of looks with the Natasha Denona new Mini Xenon palette. And I thought for today, I would see if we can get a similar look with the ColourPop. It's called Blowin Smoke now. There are 9 shades in this one and 5 in the Natasha Denona. The bone shade in the Natasha Denona palette is more of an off-white, whereas in the Blowin Smoke palette, it's white. So I think we won't use those 2 shades, but I wanted to just do one eye with one palette, either the other palette, and see how they compare. A very strong feeling they're going to be extremely similar. So let's get into it. Maybe just for funsies, I won't say which eye is which. I'll just do it and then we can try to guess, or well, not me, because I obviously know, but if you wanted to, you could guess, and at the end, I will say which eye was which. So I have a set of brushes for one palette and a set of brushes for the other palette, so we're just gonna go in. I'm not really gonna talk about brushes, I'm just going to start piling on the eyeshadow and see how it ends up. So I'm gonna first start with the light gray shade, which really doesn't do much on my skin tone, just a little something. Okay, one shade down, 3 to go. Now with the slightly darker gray, I'm actually going to do a halo look with these eyeshadows today. So going all the way from outer edge to inner. I do think I have to get a smaller brush. Hold please. Okie dokie. Just gonna get that blended and then move on to my left eye. Okay. On to the left. I'm gonna switch brushes. There. All right, I'm gonna blend this out and I'll be right back. I'm just gonna blend out the edges of both eyes using the same brush. I don't think it's going to affect the outcome at all. Okay, now I'm gonna go with the black shade. Mostly just get this on the inner and outer of each eye, leaving the center blank for the shimmer shade. Right now I'm just trying to get it on there, not so much worried about the blending. Here's one eye. Now I'm just going to blend the edges of each of these carefully. All right, so I'm just going to use a random flat shadow brush, put the silver sparkly shade on, and I'm going to spray it. I would like to avoid as much fallout as possible. Alrighty. Man, that's beautiful. Just gently tapping over the edge of the black. There's one. Do you have any guesses yet? Okay, I'm just going to blend over both of those to get them blended out nicely. And then I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of the black just to blend the edges like I do. Okay, for the lower lash line, I'm just gonna take these two angled brushes, one for each, and just get the black very, very close to my lashes. And then I'm going to use a little pencil brush with the dark gray just to blend that out. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of the LA Girl eyeliner in my waterline, put on some Big Papa mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, that's it. The look is done. Any guesses which eye is which? I will tell you that my right eye is Natasha Denona, and obviously my left eye is the ColourPop. I really need to swatch the silver shades for you so you can see. This blows my mind. There they are. The shade in the middle of my palm is from the ColourPop. The one closest to my thumb is the Natasha Denona. The ColourPop one is much brighter and much more metallic-y. I honestly think that if I were going to do another look similar to this, I would use either one, but I think that I would use the metallic silver from the ColourPop over the Natasha Denona one. It's just that good. If you don't have them both, the Natasha Denona one is amazing. I definitely really like it. But if you have the ColourPop one, that one is undeniably better. And it also has, the ColourPop also has two other gray metallic shades. Those two right there. So, I mean, the ColourPop palette is so, so good. I would recommend either one of them. 9 shades for 14, 5 shades for 25. It's really up to you. I'm happy that I have both. I feel like this one's super tiny. And since it has the bone shade and the black shade, it's really convenient to pair with other palettes. If you have one that needs to be deepened up or lightened up, this would make a really, really good companion palette. And it's tiny, so literally would fit in your pocket. All right, that's that. I am gonna try to do one more look with the Natasha Denona before I upload this video, so fingers crossed I can make that happen. Okay, third and final look for now using my Natasha Denona palette. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to keep this one a little bit more subtle and wearable in case, you know, black isn't your idea of wearable. I'm gonna go in with the lightest shade in this palette called Puff. Yep, Puff. And I'm gonna just put that on the inner half of my eye. I don't normally start with the lightest shade, but when I tell you I have dirtied so many brushes in the last couple of days, I am not exaggerating, and now I have to wash all of those brushes. So I'm gonna try to do this with one brush, working from lightest to darkest, because, you know, cleaning brushes is hard and I don't like it. I like having them clean, but the actual cleaning them is kind of a hassle. Okay, I'm gonna go with the second shade there. That one is called Gloom. Nope, just kidding. That one is called Mist. Same fluffy brush. And put that out here. This is a very messy, easy to do, hard to mess up look. Same thing, both eyes. And I'm gonna keep this one matte. I have been dying to just do a matte look with this palette. I think it's so pretty. The metallic shade's absolutely beautiful, but I've really been liking the matte thing for the last week or so. Okay, now with the shade Gloom, just a teensy bit out here, and then really blend it. Just gives a little definition. That's really pretty. I am just gonna run over everything with a clean, fluffy brush just to make sure it's blended. Mustn't have any harsh lines. There. I mean, I think that that's just really nice, really light. I didn't use the black, but I don't think we necessarily need to. I think that looks good. I am gonna line my waterline with some black eyeliner, throw on some mascara, and I'll be right back. Okay, that's it. 3 looks done. I really like this palette. I think it's worth all of the $25. I really like it, and I think this is a much more subtle, easy wearable look. My lower lash line is completely naked. You could, of course, throw any shade down there and have it look nice, but for a fast, one brush, basically, eyeshadow look, I like it. So I hope you like this video and the 3 looks that I created with this eyeshadow palette and my Blowin Smoke palette. Yeah, that's it. I'm glad that I got it. I'm incredibly happy Mike got it for me. So that's that on that. Thank you so much for your time. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, you should do that. I'm doing my absolute best, uploading 3 videos a week. August is a no-buy, but once August is over, we're back to doing whatever blows my skirt up, I guess. So be good and remember to be kind to you.